A very good evening to all of you once again, and let's get started in a deep dive understanding of how Agile works and why Agile is important and what are the benefits of Agile. Okay, so here everyone can see this image, right? Can I request anyone to read out the text mentioned on that, please? Give me a second, I'll just enlarge that for you. Yes, can you read this? What is mentioned on the four segment in the circle? All the four people can go ahead one by one. Yes.
Make people awesome,
Right. Next.
deliver value continuously, make
Oh,
safety
superb.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
make safety
A
a
prerequisite. A
prerequisite,
prerequisite. Mm-hmm.
experiment and learn rapidly.
Right. So, is there anyone who has doubt in this? Like, first of all, make people awesome is one of my favorite. What it simply means is that with the help of this practice, with the help of this principle, by implementing Agile, we're ensuring that people are happy, people are, feeling fulfilled in their job. They are basically they are getting better and better with the help of the improvement and upskilling with the help of following these practices, and overall there is a growth for everyone. Okay, so we are kind of making people awesome by implementing agile. So it's a basic notion, like when we have good practices, when we have good implementation, that should make ultimately people happy, okay, professionally. What is the next, Polly? Next point, deliver value continuously. That we all are aware of that we have to keep delivering. I mean, whenever we say delivery, that means we are, I would say, submitting or we are completing our work. We are giving the completed software application, whatever we are working, to the customer. So that has to be of value. Okay, value means it's not only something that, okay, a customer asked us to create a website and we did that. That is absolutely fine. That is the basic bare minimum requirement. Okay, but then on top of it, yes, we put in some efforts. We made it better. We tried to use our technical expertise. We had given our some of the, I would say, advice to the customer about how it can be better. So basically, when you deliver something to the customer, they should be happy, they should be content, and they should want to come to us again with more work. Make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hello. Yes,
Ma'am.
thank you so much.
Yes.
Next point is make safety a prerequisite. Okay, now here we talk about safety in multiple ways. First of all, it's not only about application, network security, data security, ensuring your application is safe from the hackers or any other attacks. It's not only that, that is important, that goes without saying, that is practical, that is there, first of all. But then when we say safety, that means even while working on our applications, working on the overall development process, all the team members, everyone should also feel safe. When I say feel safe, that means there has to be an environment of trust, environment of understanding, environment of having positivity while working with each other, right? When you perform best, tell me, you perform best when you feel valued, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you feel that you are trusted, when you feel that you are motivated and appreciated, when you feel that your opinion matters, right? So that kind of environment we should give to everyone, to our employees, to our resources, to our team. And that is the best way to make them feel safe and feel have such environment, I would say better performance are a natural outcome. Okay, natural outcome. That means you don't have to do anything else. People will actually work better on their own. Next, an important point is experiment and learn rapidly. Now, this goes without saying. In this dynamic environment, when we know that there are new technologies are being implemented, new things are happening around, we have to be on our toes. We have to learn new things. We have to keep, I would say, upskilling ourselves. Okay. And when I say upskilling, that means learn about newer methodologies, new technologies, newer ways. So it's actually, and then experiment also. So see, there would not be any invention without any experiments, right? So this also applies to IT, and this also applies to Agile and the Scrum framework in any domain. So definitely, we have to keep improving and keep learning on continuous manner. Make sense,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
just getting a response from Suchit. Okay, yeah, I got it from others as
Yes.
well. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, guys, in between, you feel like this term is not clear or you need extra, I would say, explanation, please feel free to stop me then and there and ask. Okay, don't hesitate, don't think twice. Please feel free and ask me then. Okay, because unless you are clear, we would not appreciate to go ahead. Okay, now let us understand what we have. So we are saying agility in projects. Okay. What are the tools for practicing agile? Agile and Scrum explanation and benefits of Agile and Scrum. Okay. So these are four most important aspects that we will be learning today. Okay. Okay. So now this is some basic information kind of we have provided. So can I request everyone to read it one by one? It's just an FYI for your knowledge sake. It's not a topic as such. So we're just telling you where agility or agile is used in project. Go ahead one by one, everyone.
To prove the speed delivery, continuous delivery, small to bulk agility is encouraged in the projects. Reason people have done the certification as PMI ACP. Safe,
Yeah.
skilled, agile.
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
we can have a next person to read it out. We
Okay.
can go turn
Okay.
by
Okay.
turn. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
A safe scale agile framework enterprise.
Kanban,
Yeah,
DevOps.
we lost your voice. Okay, okay. Go ahead, go ahead. I thought we lost your voice, but no, that was completed. Go ahead. Yes.
Kanban,
Next,
DevOps.
after DevOps. Okay, Kanban and DevOps.
Scrum in different levels of types of master.
Product owners and developers certification, a P4MR, Agile adaptation of the Inter-American Development Bank, and other new levels of certification that has grown similar to Team Coach, Enterprise Coach, Agile Leadership, Scrum Advanced, among others.
Thank you so much for reading it out. So basically, what is this? That these are the different segments, different ways we can get our certification done, and in these all kind of ways we can implement Agile. So, Kanban, I'm pretty sure in the last session, Gaurav had explained, right? Everybody remembered Kanban board? Yes, in detail. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yesterday.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. I thought everybody forgot. So Kanban we have learned, and scaled agile will come in the upcoming sessions in between. Scrum we are learning different types of levels, roles that we will learn. So basically, this is an information where we are trying to say that okay, we can do some certification, we can do. Uh, how to get into this project management institute certification, and overall this means that how you can be an agile certified practitioner. So PMI, ACP stands for Project Management Institute Agile certified professional. So if you do these kind of certification, so you get a little weightage also on your resume. Okay, so they are recommended, but we will suggest you to do that only after our course is finished. These are like certified courses from the institute itself, so they are recognized worldwide. Okay, so no hurry as of now. We have just started. It's just an FYI for all of you. So yes, these are the ways where we can implement agile in multiple ways in different projects. This is just an information. Nobody would come and ask you this by heart. So always remember, this is for your understanding. Okay. Now let us go ahead and try to know which are the tools. Now I'll just read out. These are these many tools. I'll be honest. I have barely used a couple of them. It's not that one organization will use all. It's like most of the organization, I'll be honest, Jira and Trello are the super widely used. And here in our sessions, we covered both. We covered Jira as well as we covered Trello in upcoming sessions towards the end of the course. So yes, Jira and Trello are covered here. These are the tools to practice agile. Like, while working on agile, how you can manage all the requirements, how we can manage the work. So that is with the help of these tools. Okay. So basically, these are ticketing system. Also, they are called as. That means if you have any work, like for example, imagine if I give you a task, like if I tell Suchita that Suchita, you have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
take a printout of I'm just saying, you have to take a printout of a particular topic,
Okay.
and give it to your batchmates, physical print. Imagine you are all in one location and I tell you that work. Okay.
Okay.
So what kind of work Sujita will do? For example, Sujita will say, okay, I have given this task, and now my task is first take printouts. Now that is one task. Okay. Second, give printouts to all the batchmates. Okay, these are the two tasks Sujita has. So tomorrow, imagine we are working in an office and physically at one location. So tomorrow I'll come and ask Suchita, Suchita, hi, have you completed your work? Suchita might say, I have completed the printouts. So the printout task which Suchita was doing, that is completed. That is marked as done. Okay, done. But second task, that is distributing the printouts to batchmates, that is still work in progress, because I have given, I would say, I've given only to Dev and only to Zubran. Geeta and Syed, I am yet to hand it over. I have not given them that. So you see, it was like very simple task, but what is the status? First of all, we break down the task, and then we
Yes.
label or we attach the status to that. Okay, is it yet to be started? It is WB. It is still in doing state. It is completed. It is done. So it is, if there is some work which was not done properly, like how we have this phases of testing. While in testing, we see that there are some issues, there are some problems, and we rework on that. So we can reopen the ticket, or we can reopen the work. Okay, so these are the basic way. So you are honestly very welcome to Google them, but we here cover Jira and Trello in detail. We have a dedicated session for Trello, and we, I think, have multiple sessions on Jira when it is covered in length with all the details. So Asana is also there. Exosoft, Zoho Sprint, Rike, Ice, Ice Scrum, Tega, Scrumpy, and Handsoft and Utah. Out of which, again, Rike and Ice Scrum, I've heard in some of the organizations, others in my, I would say, Scrum career of maybe like 15 years now around, I have not worked on that. But that doesn't mean not all organizations. It again depends on organization to organization. Some tools are free trials. They are good to work in smaller organizations. Some are like paid and they are chargeable. So bigger organizations buy them, enterprise organizations. So depending, but this is just an FYI, which tools you can practice. Majorly heavily used are Jira and Asana sometimes, but Trello. I have used Trello and Jira maximum. Okay, so let us move forward.
Okay.
So this is just like additional information we want to give you. So tomorrow, while you're reading on internet, or if you're doing your own study or whatever, so you'll come across these things and you'll know, okay, yeah, this is what we were discussing in the class. Yeah, that's right. Now this is very, very interesting. Let me ask you this question first. Is Agile and Scrum same? Tell me. I'll go to other slide
Yes, some sort of.
because we will. Okay. How many yeses? What about others? Who answered yes? Who said yes? I didn't catch your name.
Sayed.
Yeah? Sayyed. Okay. Sayyed is saying yes. How about Dev, Suchita, Geeta, and Zubran? What do you
Agile,
think?
I think,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, Agile is a methodology, but Scrum is the way we present it, right?
Oh, yes. Yes. Absolutely right. Yes. Yes. So I like this explanation of yours. Very well on point. Agile it is a methodology and Scrum is a way to implement it. Beautiful, huh? Geeta, trust me. I
Thank you.
felt very nice because these are the exact words what we have. Yeah. What about others? In your own words, no worry to have the actual words. What do you think? So I got a response from Sayyed and Geeta. How about Dev, Zubran, and Suchita? Are they same? Are they? See, this is important because once you know the,
Actually, the same answer.
I would say,
Yeah, same answer.
actually, they same also. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. That's okay. Whatever you feel, we will get the
Yeah.
clarification. Yeah, they're same
Okay.
also. Yeah. And
Yes,
Zubran and
yes,
Dev, what do you feel? Yes. Rita, please call me Prerna. Okay, we don't work on ma'am and sir culture. I would really appreciate. So Prerna is fine. Okay, okay. So we don't have further responses.
No, the same
Uh,
as same answer.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, same answer, same answer.
Same answer as well.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what you're trying to say. Can you please repeat? Yeah.
I'm saying that the same answer as my colleague said.
Okay, they are the same.
Yeah, maybe
Okay,
because
fine,
Google and
fine.
ChatGPT both are reflecting the same answer. So
Okay, that was a clever answer. Yes. So we don't want Google and GPT answer. Sorry, Chat GPT answer. We want your answers because in interview you would be there. You won't be taking help of Google or GPT on the spot. Okay. So see, on a broader level, they are similar, but then they are different in practicing, right? You can't call it at the same. So, can I request three different people to read out the text mentioned on the screen, please? Three sentences.
The key difference between Agile and Scrum is that while Agile is a project management physiology, while utilize a core set of value or principles. Scrum is a specific agile methodology that is used to facilitate a project.
Agile is a continuous iteration of development and testing in the software development process, whereas Scrum is an agile process to focus of delivering and business value in the shortest time.
Right. And the next point.
Scrum is a framework utilizing an agile mindset of developing, delivering, and sustaining complex products with an initial emphasis of software development, although it has been used in other fields including research, sales, marketing, and advanced technologies.
Thank you so much for reading it out. Okay. Now let us understand, are they same? Are they different? What is the catch here? Okay. So we are saying, as Geeta had mentioned, and as the actual definition goes, that while Agile is a project management philosophy, like the Agile is a project management methodology, way of implementing something. Okay. That is like, it is the, I would say, practice. Like you, how you practice a religion, how you practice a hobby. So this is the way you practice something. Okay, this is a good example. Okay, like how you practice a religion. In that religion, you can fast, you can pray, or you can, like you can donate. You can do something by, like, if I have to talk, I'm a Hindu, right? So if I have to talk about the Hinduism, so in Hinduism, what we do, we pray, we do fasting, we donate, we worship gods, right? And
Yes.
in other religions, like, you go to mosque, you go to church, you pray there. You have maybe you have your prayer sessions, and then you have other things, like you have like whole month fasting, or like yesterday we had Easter. So same principle. So for one particular religion, how you can implement that, like, you can do fasting, you can do prayers, you can donate, you can visit particular holy places. So same way, in same manner, for Agile, we can implement in multiple manner, right? Agile is a practice. Agile is a methodology, and how to practice it. Sorry. So how we do that? So Agile has core set of values and principles, which we have learned in last section, right? Everybody is aware of the 12 principles, yes or no?
Yes, we are.
And 4 core
Yes.
Yes.
values. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much. Yes. So Agile tells you about this, and then Scrum is a specific way, like, you say, okay, I worship God, like some people, they worship with the, on the basis of fasting, like they are always fasting, there are particular days, particular tithi. So this is their way of fasting. Now some people worship by praying, they are non-stop praying, they are chanting, they are, they have malas, and they have beads to count. So anyways, right? So here we do that with the help of Scrum. Agile can be implemented in multiple ways. Now we are following as Scrum. Okay, Scrum is one of the way where we facilitate or we implement Agile, okay, for a particular project. Now what does Agile do? Agile, we are saying that it's a continuous iteration, like it's a continuous repetition of development and testing in the software development process. That means you are working on a software, you are developing a software, and you're testing like, there are typical stages in software development life cycle. It's called as SDLC for short, software development life cycle. Okay, so in that, what happens is, first of all, in short, there are
Madam,
multiple phases, but in short, yeah, go ahead.
ma'am, please repeat this one, ma'am. The agile continuous practice, the
Yeah,
software develop, the short
software development life cycle.
development
So let me
lives.
write it for you if I
Okay.
can.
Life
S,
cycle.
it will come in the further discussions also.
Okay,
So it is
okay,
called as, don't mind my handwriting, S. That's why I avoid writing because it just feels like I'm
okay.
in kindergarten. S D
Yes.
L C.
Mm-hmm.
That is software
It's
development life cycle. Okay. It's
okay,
a
okay.
short
Understood.
form. This is the way we call it. Okay. So
Yes, yes.
what it does is, now this particular process has many phases. Okay, software development, like starting with analysis of the software, then design of the software, then implementation, then actual implementation means development or coding of the software, then testing of the software, and then submitting or delivering or deployment of the software. Okay. So here what we are saying, that in Agile we are looking at the continuous development. That means now we will learn in our implementation that there is a concept called as sprint. That is basically a time duration. That means what we do, we divide our project duration into small chunks. Like if our project is of 6 months, understanding we have a project for 6 months, you're working on a website or on mobile
Mm.
application, anything that you fancy. So for
Yes.
that, we kind of break our project duration into smaller chunks. So imagine we create a sprint of 2 weeks, that is 15 days. We don't call it in days, we call it into weeks. So 2 weeks is basically 10 working days. Okay. We don't count Saturday,
Mhm.
Sunday. So it's Monday to
Yeah.
Friday, Monday to Friday. So 10 working days. So we call it as a 2 week sprint. So in that 2 week sprint, how much work we will complete? And then this 2 weeks pattern will continue. If once you complete one sprint, that is 1 to 15th of, say, May, then the next sprint will be 16 to 31st May. The next sprint should be 1st to 15th June. The next should be 16 to 30th June. So this way, it will be a continuous cycle. Everybody with me on this?
Mm.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is a continuous cycle of developing and testing. And whereas what the scrum says is that we have to focus on the business value. Now this is a methodology. Agile tells us to, okay, this is a pattern, you can finish your work in 2 weeks and stuff like this. So Agile is telling us this, and Scrum is telling us how you can do that. So Scrum is telling us, okay, you have sprint, you have stand-up meetings, you have these ceremonies. So we will learn this in upcoming sessions. So one is a religion and one is a way to practice it. So always remember in this term. I think that's an easier way to understand it. Okay. Next is Scrum is a framework utilizing agile mindset. Now this goes without saying. Okay, you are implementing Scrum with the help of agile framework. Now I can give you one more funny example. So imagine agile as parents and Scrum as one of the child. Okay, a parent can have multiple child, yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So
Yes,
there
ma'am.
are multiple
Yes.
ways. So there are multiple ways a parent's teaching can go. So if you have one child, it can be Scrum. The other child can be Kanban. The other child can be, DevOps. So there are multiple ways they can implement it. This is the easier way. Always remember that. Okay. So we get the core values, like your father, your parents, your mother, they might have taught you to write something in this fashion or do some work in this fashion, but as a child or as a young baby, you will add some of your qualities to it, yes or no? Right? If I tell you
Yeah.
to do some work, but we always see kids do it in their own fashion. So this is same way. Though we have our values and principles, the actual implementation, Scrum adds its own flavor. I think I think this is another easiest examples we could think from these lines. Yeah. So Scrum is a framework wherein agile mindset for developing, delivering, and sustaining, I would say, complex projects. Now, the basic ask or why the need for agile arose was because we are working in a dynamic environment and because we are working in a very complex, I would say, world as of now, wherein the applications or projects are getting very intelligent and complex day by day. Like imagine if you are working on a software to launch uh, rockets, or if you are working on a software that is used in cardiac department in a hospital. Do you think these are easy softwares, or there would be some complexity? Yes or no?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah, that should be complexity.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you're launching a rocket for God's sake, or you're working in a hospital, and that is also very critical
Critical.
department, right? So
Hmm.
one second. Yes. So for these kind of complex projects, for complex implementation, complex understanding, we have Scrum. Okay. So our emphasis here is on software development, and this is a very important thing. Okay, this is a very frequently asked question that people say, "Oh, Agile is only used in software development award." So no, no, this is an answer. No, Agile is not used only in software development. Agile is widely used in all the domains. Here we can see research, sales, marketing, advanced technologies, any domain, education, medical, hospitality. So it's basically a methodology, right? Like it's like if you are doing fasting, you can do fasting on any day, right? You can do fasting any day. Fasting can be done by any gender, anyone. So as simple as that. It's a methodology. It can be utilized and implemented by any and every industry as per their requirement. So everybody clear on this thought, or do you have any doubts? Please, this is important because this can be an interview question wherein they would ask that can someone please go on mute? Geeta and Suchita, you can you please
I have a
unmute?
question. I have a question, Prerna.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Actually, as you given me as an example, like parents, kids, right? I get a question
Mm-hmm.
there. The as you say, Scrum is a parent and Agile is a kids, right?
Agile is a parent. Agile
Oh,
is a
sorry,
parent.
Agile is a
Agile.
parent and Scrum is a
Yeah,
kids. So Agile,
Mm-hmm.
we parent will be giving an instruction to the kids, as I understood, that
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
instruction should be followed in their own way. That's correct, right?
can
Yeah, I mean, parents always give instruction, but
Mhm.
then kids follow in their own multiple ways,
Okay.
right? I mean, it is not mandatory
Yeah,
that they
and
will
if
follow the same way.
sure,
Mm-hmm.
sure, I got it. And if they're doing anything wrong, like if it goes wrong, we're going to check for the which one to be corrected, and we are correcting it. Is that correct, Prerna? I got it correct.
See,
yes.
honestly, there is no way of correction or something like that. So it's like
Mhm.
more as like how customized you can work.
Okay.
Because in that example, I understand because they're kids and because as a parent, you have to keep an eye on them. But
Mm-hmm.
in reality, while we are implementing, there is no correct or incorrect way. We
Okay.
know that this is the methodology and this is the way to implement it. There are multiple
Implemented,
ways to
yes, ma'am.
implement it. Yeah, there are multiple ways to implement it. Like if I
Okay.
ask you to study, some people study by sitting quietly. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
some people study by lying down. Okay, some people study by walking, and holding the book in their hands. Okay, some
Okay.
people
Yes,
study by saying it loud. Okay, some
Mm-hmm.
people study with the help
yes,
of music.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, some
Mm-hmm.
people study
yes.
while munching on. So, is there any right or wrong way into this? They all are studying. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
that's
They are
correct.
the
So,
study.
same
Yeah,
way, our
yeah.
our basic is we have to study, we have to implement a project in
Mm-hmm.
which, but we have given the fundamentals. Our fundamentals is like as a parent, I'll tell them that okay, you have to complete 2 chapters in 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the
Yes,
deadline they have, or this is the methodology they have. And they
Okay.
can implement in their own ways. It's as simple as that.
Okay. So
Only because of the child and go ahead.
the deadline and the result should be obtained on the date. Rest all is
Yes.
their
So
choice.
agile gives you the framework. Agile tells you that okay, this is how you have to implement. This is how you these are kind of roles you need to have.
Hmm. Yeah, got it, Priya. Thank you very
Bandhaga.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know this is something new for you. This is it has a lot of I would say multiple petals like a rose. So that's okay. We will get there, but thank you for asking this question. Yeah, it adds to the value and it adds to your understanding. So slowly and gradually, as we are learning further, you will get a better understanding. Don't worry about it.
Sure, thank
Okay.
you.
Should we
Mm.
move to next
Yes.
slide? Yeah.
Yes, yes, we can.
Thank you. Let us understand. Today, Gaurav won't be joining us as I just got his message. So let us
Okay.
continue. Okay, so I
Sure.
will take for some time and then we can take a pause. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So this we just recently discussed. Okay, deliver incrementally instead of all at once. Now, can somebody tell me what is the meaning of increment in
Incrementally.
plain English? What does increment mean?
For increase, step by step increase.
Yes, increase, that's the right way, but continuous increase, right? Step by step increase. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, super. That is what I was looking at. So yes, continuous increase. So here, what are we saying? Again, going back to the study example, it's like how in kindergarten or in the earlier classes, we have those small tests, right? We have weekly test or monthly test. Just remember, just like fun test, like you just have to scribble something or draw a picture or color something, right? So
Yes.
they don't have annual test as such because they're so young and it's
Mm.
all so much lightly taken. So they don't have annual test. They have small. So this is like a small increment, like in first month maybe they will learn about saying abcd. In the next month they might have to write abcd. That's that way, very slowly, but it's incremental, right? but when you do any postgraduate course, any masters or any phds, do you have that frequent test, or do you have actual final test, like that can be like semester or yearly test? What kind of test you have?
Yes. Semester wise.
Semester wise, right? Or the final submission of your thesis or final submission of
Yes.
your projects, right? So this is like an entire year syllabus we are taking it to final year. Okay, so tell me, if I have to ask you, I don't know your preference, to be very honest, but if I have to ask you, what in which pattern the burden or the study load is higher, when we give smaller exam, or when we study only at once towards the end? In which method the, I would say, burden is higher, or you feel more pressured?
I
In which
think
Step
pattern?
I think
step
the
by.
one exam will give it right. I think it's more because at once we need to study all the things and give an exam. But
Yeah.
step by step,
Yes, it is
Yes.
tiring, right? And it,
yeah.
it, it feels like a pressure, because I certainly do, with only with the thought of it, because imagine somebody must have taught you something in January, right? And
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
giving exam in December, so it's like entire 11 months of duration. You are like you need to remember, so that's tough.
Mm.
So yeah, so this is what we have to remember. It is like too much of work, too much of studies we need to, and that is tiring also to complete at one go. At one go.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So same pattern. If we are delivering work step by step, it is easier for us. If we are giving it at one, it is.
Yes, ma'am. Because we are beginner.
Yes. Because see, even if it is easier for us. So imagine same logic in software development life cycle. where we are delivering smaller chunks on which we have complete, I would say, control. Like, we have tested them, we have checked them, we are, doing everything from start to end, development to delivery. Yes. So this is the only, so that's why, see here, if you see, it's like one solid arrow, and here there are small pieces. Make sense? Make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Can I
Yes, ma'am.
request people who are on continuous mute, because I'm getting the support. I can hear Suchita and Geeta quite loud. I would love to hear from guys now. So can we have these three people mentioning or saying the 3 points mentioned on the screen, please?
The distinction between Spirit and Scrum is that they are two linked but different terms. Scrum is a framework often used in Agile methodology, and Sprint is a part of Scrum framework structure. Scrum gives meeting tools roles, while a Sprint is define a period for creating a feature.
Thank you. Thank you so much for reading it out. Next point.
Scrum is a subset of Agile. It is a lightweight process framework for Agile development and the most widely used one.
Right. Now, this is one of the most famous one. So this is most widely used, right? Next point.
It is a particular set of practice that must be followed in order for a process to be consistent with the framework. Like the Scrum process framework requires the use of the development cycle called sprint. The XP framework requires pair programming.
Right. Thank you so much. So what are we saying is the distinction between us now. See, we tried to understand earlier what is agile and scrum. Now we are trying to understand what is a difference between agile and sprint. Okay. Luckily, we just discussed sprint is basically a time duration, like, you're breaking a project in multiple weeks, and this is called as sprint. So we had that understanding. But what we are saying that they are two different terms, and they are used for different purposes. Okay, that's what we are saying. So, a Scrum is a framework often used in Agile methodology. Yes, we are all aware. Whereas Sprint is a time duration, right? Scrum is a framework. Like, okay, you have to have multiple roles in Scrum. You have to have these functionalities. You have to have these stand-up meetings, these ceremonies. So, all these things you will understand in Scrum. Okay. Whereas Sprint is basically a time duration wherein, Scrum it me says that, okay, you can have a sprint of 15 days, 2 weeks. You can have a sprint of 3 weeks, things like that. Okay. Scrum also gives us understanding about different tools, or what we can use. Can we use Jira, Kanban, and Asana and things like that. It also helps us to you know make use of other things, like what are the ceremonies which we use, what are the roles, like, we have Scrum Master, we have again we have product owner, we have development team. So what are the other all roles we have? So in short, one is telling us about how to work, and other is just a duration of time to implement that work. Okay. So Scrum, now this is a very easy to understand line. Scrum is a subset of Agile. Everybody understands this, right? Subset,
Yeah.
that it is a part, or it is a way of implementing Agile. Always remember. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's a lightweight process framework for agile development, and most widely used one. Now here you see it is most widely used one. Always remember, it is extensively used. So mostly whenever there is agile, people are using Scrum. Always remember this. Okay. Easy, no doubts.
No doubt, ma'am.
last but not the least, it is a particular set of practices. That's what we were learning. So it has a set practices, like, you should have a stand-up meeting, you should have particular ceremonies before you start. Like, you can have a stand-up meeting, you should have a stand-up meeting every day. You should have project planning meeting at the beginning of the sprint. So there are like multiple things, very interesting, very practical, absolutely engaging, and absolutely useful in real life. So I always emphasize that when we learn about Agile or Scrum, it is not only for your professional work. It is highly recommended to use Agile in your personal life, in your personal projects. If you're planning for a PhD, any certification, even if you're constructing a house, you're doing anything, you're doing any furniture work, any kind of work, Agile is extremely useful. Trust me. I tend to think from Agile point of view in most of my work. It has become a way of life now. But you will learn when you'll understand when we learn in detail. Okay. So what are we saying? Scrum, like the Scrum process framework, requires a use of development cycle called sprint. XP, like when we use XP, extreme programming. XP stands for extreme programming. It has a way of implementation with the help of pair programming. Now you may ask, what is pair programming? So pair, as we know, it's a that means it's a set of two. So in this methodology, we have two people, two developers, two programmers working together. So they are like their buddies. One person who develops, I mean, both of them do development work, but they keep checking each other's work. So it is like a maker checker, like how we have in banks, right? So somebody develops and then other person reviews it. So we have the review mechanism. We have, so it's basically two people ensuring that each other's work is going on fine, if I have to put it in the simple terms. So that is what it's called as pair programming. It's just good to know information. You need not know everything in detail as of now, just an FYI from that point of view. Okay. So any doubt in this basic understanding of Agile and Scrum? Do you feel it is not clear, it is clear? What it is, tell me. Yeah, this is for everyone. I know this is new, many words you're listening for the first time. So, yes. Am I on mute? I'm not on mute. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Geeta. What about others?
Yeah, it is helpful even if you're cooking biryani, still the same process.
Yes. So I'm telling, this is a very good way of saying it. Thank you so much. So if you're doing anything, and if you have this thought process, this is helpful, right? So nobody can come and tell you that, okay, you can follow Scrum in here. Your mind will automatically tell you, hey, this is like, we can do it in this way. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. Let us see what we have in the next slide, and then we can decide. Yeah, this is a mostly similar thing to what we have discussed. I think we can take this and I'll just brush over on this image, and then we can take a pause. Yes, again, I think these are similar things that what we have been discussing. Just further details. Let us go one by one, and then we can take a pause after this, after the next slide. Go ahead. Anyone? Just read out the four statements mentioned.
Lightweight means that the overhead of the process is kept as small as possible to maximize the amount of productive time available for getting useful work done.
Yes, I was waiting for
You're
others to join. Go, let's go one by one. We have
s-
almost completed this. Yeah.
sorry, I was reading in the mute.
Please. Oh,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
go ahead. No worries. No worries. Go ahead.
A Scrum process is a distinguished from other agile processes by specific concepts and practices divided into three categories of roles, artifacts, and time boxes.
Okay, next point.
Scrum is most often used to manage complex software and product development. Using iterative and increment practices, Scrum significantly increases productivity and reduces time to benefit relative to classic waterfall process.
Perfect. Last but not the least.
Scrum processes enable organizations to adjust smoothly to rapid changing requirements and produce a product that meets evolving business goals. An agile Scrum process benefits the organization by helping it.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much. I was glad to hear some different voices after a long time. So kudos to that. And yes, so whatever we have discussed till now is a further understanding. So there are these, and always remember this terminologies like lightweight. So when we use these things, that means we are emphasizing that though they are a form of methodology, they are easy to use. So these kind of things. So that's why the word, that's why the term lightweight. Okay. So I'll just give you some understanding on these statements, and then we can wind up for the day. What are we saying? We are saying lightweight means that overhead of the process is kept small and as small as possible to maximize the amount of productive time available for getting useful work done. Now, this simply means that we don't invest too much about the planning, and we don't waste too much of time about how to do things. Then we actually do things. Okay. So it's like, I remember our childhood days. We used to, if our exam is upcoming in say 1 month, we used to, at least I used to spend a lot of time only in planning the schedule. I'll study this and that on that particular day instead of actually studying as a young kid. So what we are saying, instead of just saying big words and having big plans, better to implement better. This is the core. Okay, remember this. A Scrum process is distinguished from other agile processes by specific concepts and practices, and divided into three main categories. So now, if somebody asks you about Scrum, you can always highlight this. The Scrum has three main processes. These are roles, artifacts, and time boxes. Now, roles means who does what. So where we have product owner, we have product owner, scrum master, development team, stakeholders. Artifacts means the actual PBIs, that is product backlog items that we work on. Time box, again, it is also called, is a similar word for sprint. Okay. So that is your time boxing. Scrum is most often used to manage complex software. Yeah, this we learn, it is generally used for difficult projects. And see, it need not be only medical. It need not be only medical or rocket or science or innovation. No, even in real organization. Now, do you think handling Facebook is an easy job? What do you think? Having like millions, I don't know billions, but at least having millions of people logging into one application at the same time. Do you think it's an easy thing to manage? What do you think?
Uh,
Not at
yeah,
all.
yeah, it's difficult one.
Not at all, right? The
Yes,
amount of
not
network
at all.
bandwidth, the amount of, I mean, the kind of security threats, there's so many things
Yes,
happening, right?
Yeah.
yes,
So,
yes.
your system should not be crashed. You should have enough database. I mean, I'm not hands-on. I mean, I left development hands-on, I think around 10 years earlier now, maybe almost 10 years. But I remember it was not an easy job. Or maybe as a manager, I know we have to look at so many aspects. And with technology booming, so many hacking things coming up, everything being so dynamic, everybody being so intelligent. It is really tough. It is not an easy job. So even to have implement those kind of projects, we can and we should use Scrum. Okay. Is there anyone who is aware of waterfall methodology here? There's waterfall mentioned. That's why I'm asking. Waterfall methodology, anyone?
Oh, I think it's testing. I don't know much, but it's the testing method, right? Waterfall,
Yes.
the pack
No,
they used.
it's not. It is not a testing method. It is a method in which earlier projects were
Days.
developed. Now, what we are saying that we will work for 2 weeks and give the completed product to customer, right?
Yeah,
Sprints, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
yeah,
Earlier, this was not the scenario. Earlier methodology is called as waterfall because how a waterfall flows, unidirectional, right, from top to
yeah,
bottom. Yes or no, in one direction. Have you seen a reverse waterfall in your life by any chance? I
yeah.
have not.
I have
So
seen.
simple pattern. Earlier projects were like this, like, imagine you guys come to me. I represent Guruschools. You guys come to me saying that, okay, we want a website. We are all group of, say, artists, so one of you does painting, one of canvas painting, oil painting, one of you does pottery, one of you is a dancer, one of you is a singer. So whatever, you are a group of set of friends, you come to us and you say we want to create a website. You come to Guruschools. Okay, and imagine we are following waterfall methodology, and this is like take this work 30 years back. We are in maybe 1980 or 90. So I tell them, okay, give me your requirement. So you give, okay, I want this page dedicated to my work. All the pottery products should be there. All the pots and whatever I've created, vase and stuff like that. A dancer would come and say, I want, no, my dancing snippets to be added here, my pictures there, whatever, my group here. So you give me all the information and I tell them, okay, fine, great. I have all the data, I have the requirements. You go back, I'll call you once the work is done. Okay. Now I take my own
Yes.
sweet time of, say, because I'm imagining this is a big website, 1 year.
Mhm.
First of all, in today's scenario, nobody would wait for that long. But then you guys are very nice, saint like in 30 years back, there was no other option. So you guys come to me next year, in March, and you tell me, okay, now show us your website. And I show you your website. The color theme is off. The images are not properly uploaded. The dancing video is not properly done. There are
Yes.
so many things that are not as per your liking.
Mhm.
What will you do?
Mm.
How
We
would
need
you
to.
feel?
Yeah, if waiting for so long and the changes is again, we need some more time to wait, right?
Okay.
So
But how would you feel? Would you feel happy or frustrated
no,
or irritated, annoyed?
I feel frustrated or bad. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Right?
yeah.
That's why in Guru schools we don't
Yes.
have agile. This is an example. But by the way, this was actually happening. This was actually happening.
Yes.
So imagine
Mm.
how cumbersome, how tiring, how frustrating it is. And also, as a customer, as a stakeholder, as a person about whose work is being worked upon, you have no access, no right, no intervention in the entire process. It's just like you're building a house and you tell someone, okay,
Mm.
I want the house to be built in this way. You don't even show, you tell them, and you come back and you're in for shocks, not for surprise, but
Mhm.
shocks. I also give that
Mm.
example. Today I've given this example. So that's why, because there was no intervention, there was no communication, there was no feedback mechanism. Things were happening, first of all, very slow, and second, not as per the requirement. So that's why
Mm.
we had to let go waterfall. By the way, it is still used in simpler projects. Like if you're
Yeah.
developing a library system, if you're developing just websites for creating only to dump pictures and data, like like how newspapers are built now. Even newspapers are quite dynamic,
Mm.
but if you have to create a documentary, for example, or a set of documents. So that's okay. For that kind of work, it's fine because you don't have much changes, you don't have anything dynamic. There are no like if you're creating a website for history facts, right? So yes, there might not be major changes in that. So always remember it is as per the requirement. But then nowadays waterfall is really, really barely used unless the projects are extremely simple. Okay. Now next point.
Prerna,
Yes,
can I
that is
add
what
one
we
more?
have been discussing. Yes,
One,
go ahead. Go ahead, Dave.
just for my friends to understand. Also, in a government, especially in the US, they still use waterfall
Mhm.
because of the lack of budget.
Yes.
They don't want to spend a lot of
Yes.
money by using agile.
And
So
they
they
don't even
still,
want to fast-paced work. That also one
yeah,
of the
so
way.
they still use
They
waterfall.
love their own sweet pace.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I'll
Yeah,
give
in
you an
mostly
example. In
government.
state of Texas, and
Mhm.
they one of my friends work, and he told me that like they wanted to implement a digital driving license, new technology, and they use waterfall, and eventually it crashed, and they had to spend more money to develop the new system. They could have saved it if they had used agile in the starting, but they just messed it up. So they all I'm trying to say is they still use a waterfall process in the government sector. That's all.
Thank you so much for adding this, and we really got the clarity that why waterfall should not be used or using it can lead to not so favorable, I would say, results because it is not that practical or not that result oriented. That is what I can say. Thank you so much for adding this, Dave. Yes. So, guys, all of you are on this with me. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I was thinking to go ahead for the next slide, but I think we should have that fresh next in the tomorrow's session because it's something new, something exciting. So I just don't want to start now. So before we end, I just wanted everybody's reaction. Now today we are finishing a little bit early as Gaurav is
Okay.
not 10 and I have other commitments as well. So yes, one word, one sentence, whatever you want to say how you feel about today's session, today's learning. Everyone, go one by.
I felt very interesting, and this way of communication, right? We explain and so we get knowledge. I felt very happy, Prina. Thank you. Two-way communication, right? I like that.
Yes, I understand very clearly.
Yeah, and the good explanation between
Yes.
Agile and Scrum.
Yes, sorry, I was on mute, so I was thanking and I was laughing at my end. So yes, yeah, it's always a two-way communication because we only speaking as trainers won't help anyone much unless we hear from you. What do you think? What do you feel? What do you want? What do you have? What thoughts you have on the process? So yes, thank you so much. Yeah, in difference between Agile and Scrum, superb. Yes, thank you. What about others?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Today's session was very interesting.
Yeah,
Thank you. Interesting. Yes,
I
yes.
agree.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So have we covered all? Dev, Geeta, Suchita, Zubran, Sayed. Yes, I have we covered all? Is there anything who is left?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So thank you so
Thank
much for your time, your patience, your participation, your thoughts. See, it's always a two-way process. It's not only me as a trainer, but you as participants being so nice and being so cooperative and being present. That is what matters. Being
Yes,
present.
ma'am.
So thank you so much
Sure.
for your valuable time and efforts as well. See you tomorrow, same
And it
time.
also keep you awake.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry.
And then you can
Sorry.
check who is awake.
Yeah, I actually give those earlier 5 to 7 minutes for people to ensure that they are on time. Generally, I ask for deep breathing for that only to ensure that. See, I understand it's almost 10 p.m. You had your entire day, you might have had your dinner, and you just want to hit your bed. But then we have this session, so it's my prime duty to ensure that this is interesting enough, this is valuable enough that you are, pushing your maybe family time, or your very sweet sleep away. So I know, as a person, I think from that point of view, if tomorrow because I've done my certification, my classes, I know if the tutor was not interesting enough, it was a monotonous tone, you would come and tell me, Prerna, please give us recording, we'll watch it. To be very honest, let's be practical. We're not kids here. So I feel it's my responsibility, and I ensure that we have to make it as interesting as practical. And also, there is nothing that is theoretical here. Trust me on that, guys. I'm working. There's nothing that is only on paper. Everything. I mean, if you are building a house, please implement Agile. If you're doing any certification, any courses, try to implement Agile in your work. And it is really, really fascinating. It's superb. I personally enjoy it. So let us learn that in upcoming session. Thank you so much once again. Good night. Take care. See you tomorrow.
Thank
Bye
you.
Good
bye.
night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Good night. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.